Danny Greer for the Chris Lee stable. Rustic Steel going around in the Gong on Saturday and has to be a big chance.
Yeah, no, he's in really good order. His record over the 1600 metres is very good. Obviously, he's unbeaten. Won the Coast and Scone Cup and got the big job done in the big dance. So we couldn't be more happy with him.
3 starts at 1600 for 3 wins. It's crying out for that distance.
Yeah, very confident about our chances, and obviously Brenton jumps on board. He's had a bit to do with him in the past. He's been successful on him before and drawn a nice gate, which also helps.
What do you think of the options from that gate if you jump?
Just allow him to settle. Obviously, you can over race, but he's been good of recent times, so we're just getting him to settle wherever he's comfortable and give him the right opportunity. I'm sure he'll be thereabouts.
Neil Payne for the Waterhouse Spot Stable. A couple are going around in the Gong. Surf Dancer profiles very well for that race. Riadini's the other.
Exactly right. Surf, he's done well. Hopefully the track will be nice and firm for him, which he likes. The mile, that's perfect for him. And he's been racing in some nice races, Surf Dancer. So, and this is another nice race, the Gong. Don't worry about that. But he's going well.
Rachel King on board from 9 would come into 8, so there's the potential for the horse to lead or be very close up front. 3 starts back at 1, the Shannon. Last start 4th in the big dance.
Exactly right. He run terrific in the big dance. Run out of his skin. So I would say he'd go forward and be in the first 2 or 3. Just depends on the pace, because sometimes in these races, they bowl along in them. So I would say Surf Dance would be running first or second, definitely.
Tim Clark's on your other one. Riadini from 8 would come into 7, so it's next door to your other runner. What do you make of its form?
Look, it sets up perfect for Riadini. Look, they've always had this since 6 months ago. They've had this race in mind. They've given him a couple of short distant runs, and now he steps up to the mile, which he really loves. He appreciates. He's run 3rd in a group run over a mile, so look, it all sets up well for him. And like I say, this race has been his aim.
Paul Snowden, one of the major fancies for the big race on the Saturday. The Gong Old Flame. How is the horse?
Really good. Very happy with him, Greg. Double-digit barrier draw is what it is, but look, I think the horse likes it. Well, he does. He likes being on the outside of other horses. Likes being in his own rhythm and getting his own space. And I think obviously it's better than drawing really low in big fields like this or that we've got on Saturday.
Last start winner of the Linlithgow, the Group 2 over 1400 at Flemington. 3 starts back, second in a Group 2, the Shannon 1500 at Rose Hill. Profiles really well.
Yeah, look, he's held his form all the way through, and you wouldn't know he's had limited runs this preparation, albeit through this wet track period where we've looked at, we didn't want to run him on anything worse than sort of a 6 or a 7, and hence the fact he's only had a few runs this preparation, but he's still in very good order. He's a very classy animal, I think, and he's only going to get better once we get into him next preparation.
Clearly this race wasn't an afterthought, it was part of the plan all along, and you can see yourself from the high rankings, rating benchmarks of all these horses, these races are coming into their own.
Yeah, look, let's hope so. We're talking about that after the race on Saturday, but look, he's got to get the job done. Like I said, we've been very happy with how he's come back from Melbourne, and he's had a good, easy time, just had a couple of pieces of work since then, and it's been really right up to the mark, so we're very happy with him.
Joe Pride, you've got Brutality going to the Gong. It's grey overhead at Rose Hill this afternoon. You'd like a bit of rain before that race.
Yeah, look, it's coastal down there, so hopefully they get it. The track at Newcastle was nice the other day. It was well prepared, but when they've predicted rain and they don't get it, they tend not to water, and it could be a bit firm. But horse is going super. It's had perfect preparation for him to run a mile. Gets his blinkers back on. It's an important gear change for him, and been very pleased with him.
So you're happy with how it finished off, and he's got out of that race without any ill effects?
Yeah, no, it was a terrific run, just nice, and it was just a run where he was able to, and as is his pattern, back of the field, and sort of poke home late. One run too many at the sprint distance for him, but it was always part of the plan to get him, as I say, really fit before we put the blinkers back on him, and Saturday's always been the aim, so he should run well.
Drawn 11 into 9 with the emergencies out for Regan Bayliss. I guess if you jump well, you've got your options.
Yeah, middle draw's perfect for him. He's an ideal horse for a middle draw. So I think he won the Villiers from a similar sort of position. So happy with that. And it's all gone to plan so far. Just get through the next few days.
Andrew Adkins, you've got a ride in the Gong Love Tap for Richard and Will Friedman. What do you think?
Yeah, he's a horse, obviously full of confidence, coming off a win at Flemington, and albeit the wide draw, it might just suit that sort of horse. He's a different type of horse. He likes a bit of room, so hopefully he can find a 3 wide line, something like that, give him a bit of space, and I think they'll give him his chance to run on. I mean, it's not ideal drawing out there, but it could just work in his favour being a bit of a quirky horse. So, like I said, he's a confident horse going forward. So yeah, looking forward to Saturday.
Tough for you to get opportunities in that crowded Sydney room, but you've proven what you can do recently. I guess if you could knock over a race like this, it'd help a lot.
Yeah, being in so good enough form, been getting a lot of good support, especially by Dynamic. So I'm very privileged and thankful I'm given the opportunity on Saturday to ride in the Gong.
Tommy Berry, you're on Old Flame in the Gong, one of the favourites. It's drawn wide. How do you approach the challenge?
Yeah, just with an open mind. That's what you've got to do when you draw wide. He's a horse who's got nice natural speed, and just be hoping for, there's 2 or 3 in there that have got good speed in the race, and hopefully that breaks up the field a little bit and we can find a bit of cover. But I'm very confident I'm on the right horse for the job. He just needs things to go his way early.
Great form with a win in a Group 2 at Flemington last start, and 3 starts back second in the Shannon when you were on board, so you know the horse.
Yeah, and the day we ran second in the Shannon, they went steady and sprinted home in ridiculous time. So he's really been good all preparation. He hasn't put a bad run in, and he just keeps improving. But this is a race that they've targeted all prep for him, and he's come there in good order. I would have been ultra, confident drawing a gate, but I'm still quietly confident with how he's going.
The barrier god's got you again in the Warra with Juan Diva drawing wide for the Richard and Will Friedman stable. What do you make of that job?
Yeah, tough again. I think the barrier god's got me all day actually, but it's a difficult one because she puts herself on speed. So I'm not sure if there's other options around for her or if they're going to still head there with her. She had a great preparation over the winter, went to a new level, and she's going well enough to be very competitive in a race like that. But the gate is something for her that's a bit of a worry.
Chad Schofield, you've got a very interesting ride in the Gong, Oscar Zulu. 1 run back for a win in the Goulburn Cup, which is always a good form race.
Yeah, that's right, and I thought he was very good first up. He actually beat me. I ran second on Coal Crusher, who has subsequently come out and won again. So the form's good. Hopefully he can produce a similar effort to what he did fresh, and if he can, I think he's going to be right in the race.
Barrier 13 into 10 with the emergencies out. I guess you just don't want to step out slowly.
No, I think he was that race. The Goulburn Cup was sort of a 2-horse race, and obviously he was probably ridden a bit more forward because of that. But I think it's a nice draw. A big open track like Kembla would suit that draw, and it's a big field, high pressure race, and we should get a good run.
Wisdom of Water for the Annabelle Neesham stable in the Warra. Ran around in the benchmark race just behind the place getter's last start. It's got some ability, but it'll have to be right up to its best in that race.
Yeah, he's a quirky horse. I think he's good enough, but he just needs to sort of put it all together on race day. He gets quite worked up and wants to do it the wrong way around. But if we can get him to relax and travel up on the pace and save what we can for the end, he'll be a chance with 54 in his back.
Tim Clark, you're on Riadini in the Gong. Hasn't won for a while, but we know at its best it's a very good horse.
Yeah, he's got sort of weight for age form at his best. He pushed Think It Over and Very Elegant there one day at Randwick, and obviously was a bit hindered by the wet tracks his previous campaign. But I think this time in, both his runs have been really good and really progressive runs. These next 2 runs that he's having, the Gong and the Ingham, are the 2 races that Gain Adrian sort of pinpointed for him at the start of his prep. Thought he's been building nicely towards them, and I expect now he's getting out to 1600, and he's got the light weight that he'd really show up there on Saturday and run very well.
You mentioned the good group form. It's also got good third up form, and you rode it last time. Did you notice anything you can work on?
Yeah, look, I felt that the last bit of his race there the other day, he's starting to really build through the line. So I think he's crying out for the mile. And I think you can see him being really effective, now that he's getting out to 1600, as I said, with the drop in weight. Obviously it was a strong race that he ran in here at Rose Hill behind Private Eye and Marzu and the like. So I think that'll set him up nicely for the race on the weekend.
In the Warrior on Mossman Gorge for Matt Dale, bit of a journeyman horse, 40 starts. Won or placed 19 times, so it knows how to get into the money.
Yeah, he's been around for a while, and he hasn't won for a little while. So, but Matty does a great job with all these horses. So, I have to obviously go back and have a look at his form and sort of see how best we can ride him to get the best out of him. But as I said, it's always nice to get the phone call from Matt and ask you to ride a horse, because he places them really well, and he wouldn't be running him if he didn't feel he'd be competitive.